Happy Sunday, guys. It's Sunday setup time. I'm Clayton Allen, host of the Day Trading Plumber and founder of Allen FX. So I got to come clean this week. If you're in the Journeyman channel or if you're not, you're going to see my MyFX books links because, I'm the type of guy that if I'm going to put myself out there and give you advice on trading or charge you to view my signals, which I do in my Journeyman signal service, I think it's only right that I show that I'm trading my own capital and putting my own capital at risk. And guys, I got to come clean. I had probably the worst percentage loss of my 10-year trading career last week. I can make a bunch of excuses and say it's because the markets weren't following. They weren't doing what they're supposed to do, or I got scammed, but it's not the case. I've been heavily distracted, and it forced me not to see the markets the way they needed to be seen. And I held on to losing positions too long, and now it's going to be a comeback story. And if you guys want to be a part of that comeback story and watch how I get myself back to positive ground without adding capital, jump on over to allenfx.com, fill out the form, get in the Journeyman group. I do an hour-long training video every Thursday night. You get all of my discretionary trade signals, which last week weren't very good, obviously, but it's life. It's what happens. Most of us traders, this is a big thing most of us all have to do is how do you get through a big loss? How do you get back on the horse? How do you deal with a much smaller account balance now? And all the things that come with being a loser. So jump on over there, fill it out. Let's not waste any more time. If you're new to the channel, I go through the 28 currency pairs we trade, which are all the majors and crosses every Sunday. We plot support and resistance areas or areas that we want to make sure if price gets to, we are paying attention and that we are looking for the right price action to take which direction we're going to trade in. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump over there. Let's start with Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So I like where we have our bearish zone. My son's in the room, so if you hear him whimpering over there, that's him. He wanted to watch his daddy make the video today, and I've already made the video twice because they can't seem to be quiet enough. But, being a single dad, this is what you got to deal with. So I like where our bearish zone is. I don't know why this thing keeps kicking me and popping up. But we're starting to see this bearish candle, guys. So this is a really good place. If we retest this high, I love it back down to R2. Australian dollar, Swiss franc has pretty much the same look. We'll see divergence. A lot of these pairs, except for the Australian dollar, JPY, we're starting to see already go bearish. But I want to see what happens at the top of this bearish zone right here, which is all pre-COVID. A lot of these Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar pairs are just racing back to pre-COVID and have already reached the top side where we were prior to COVID, which tell me that is a great area to look for resistance. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, we had a really good call out last week. We traded off R2 back to the pivot, worked magically, but now I have our make or break zone right here at this support. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait for price to get in the zone, and we're going to see if it either bounces, and then we're going to be long. And then if we get a break and get a proper retest confirming this support as resistance, we're going to be short down to our bullish zone here. Australian dollar, US dollar. Let's switch over. Same thing, guys. We're hitting a really strong resistance area right in our bearish zone here. This one, I love it to R2 for a smaller sell, but we have a missed pivot down here right around the 200 EMA, which would be a really good place for a long range profit target. And then, of course, I don't know if I'd be bullish until we get down to this support. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, we've touched the 200 EMA, and now I love it down to this missed pivot and this trend line. I wouldn't be bullish until there, but this could just trick us, right? Touch and then be a little trade. So if you do take this sell trade, be ready to close it at a small profit at this R2 level if we get that good push bounce. You don't want to get caught into it, but I really like a good turnaround at that level. Canadian dollar, JPY. Well, here's pre-COVID, guys, right over here. So we are now testing the support of pre-COVID. So this thing could stretch up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. We could see a push all the way to the top of pre-COVID levels. But we also need to be careful of a retest of this 200 EMA or R2, which very well could happen this week. So if you're already long this pair and it starts to bounce down, if you entered off of this retest right here, you're probably going to come back to break even or a little bit negative. So I would take your profit. But if you entered down here, it might be a great place to re-enter a long trade up to this bearish zone. Swiss franc JPY. We're hitting our bearish support. Now, guys, I want to make a point on this one. This is the resistance level pre-COVID. So we've already shot past the range of pre-COVID, and now we're at that resistance level. So not a bad place to be looking short. I would wait for some sort of smaller time frame double top or head and shoulders at the top side of this range. Definitely see what price does at R2 here and take your profit if we get a bounce, or re-enter on a breakthrough and retest, because I like it all the way down to this pre-COVID support range. There we go. New terminology this week. EUR AUD, we are at the support side of pre-COVID, and we're starting to see we have a daily pin bar and then some indecision. So I like this pair long from this area back up to that pre-COVID resistance level. And guys, we may just see price bound in between now that we busted through the 200 EMA. Might come up and retest right there. So if you do take a buy trade from down here, be ready to take your profit at that 200 EMA. Euro Swiss franc, we've shot up all the way up to where we were in December. The pre-COVID's down here. So we've already blown past pre-COVID levels. So this tells me I love this sell trade back down to the 200 EMA and this R2, and then we're going to see a make or break zone. However, this is such a strong bullish move. I don't necessarily think I want to take the sell trade, but rather wait to see what price is going to do at our make or break zone. Euro GBP. We called this out last week in the channel. We saw this head and shoulders pattern happening, and we put in a sell limit right at the top of this shoulder. We entered perfectly, guys. Came down, tested the neck. Now, I think if you didn't take your profit at the neckline, it may come up, retest that area. Then if you did, take the sell trade again. And what we're waiting for, guys, is a confirmed break of that neckline, a retest, and we'll enter a second trade. I love this as a take profit level 1, but at this make or break zone. But guys, here's pre-COVID support. Pre-COVID supports all the way down here. So if you can weather the storm through these levels, you have a really big winner. It's about 700 pips down to pre-COVID. And if this pair follows suit of most of the other pairs, we very well could see it jump all the way down to that pre-COVID levels. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not seeing the camera move. Dang it. The camera's not moving with me. Just all kinds of struggles. All right, so Euro GBP. Here we are, our Euro JPY. We're reaching this strong resistance level. I think we're going to see it come down to R2. But let's not try to catch this falling knife on this one. Let's wait for this pullback, and then we'll be okay. Okay, Euro NZD. We broke through this, and we've retested. So, guys, this thing is coming down to bullish territory down here. We probably could call it right there. I still love that move. Euro US dollar. We are testing our bearish zone. We have a bearish candle. I would wait for another pull all the way up to that top side. All the way up here. If we test that again, I love it. I love it down to that R2, possibly down to this missed pivot for a longer range target. It's not a bad play. Euro CAD. Euro CAD, we are touched the pivot. I'd like it back down to there, but I'd be a buyer if we get back into that range down here. British pound AUD, we busted through. I think we're going to come up, retest this level, and if we do, guys, this is not a bad buy trade up to here. And sorry, I got all these notifications pop in, but I like the sell trade better. So wait for it to come up, retest, sell down to that bullish zone. But guys, we are getting right into August 2019 range. Pre-COVID is up here, right here. So we've already blown through. And British pound versus the AUD, we're going like Brexit zone. GBP CAD, we're looking for a short down to our bullish zone right here. And we might want to wait for this. We just keep testing that 200 EMA. But the British pound is just getting weaker. So unless you're against the Swiss franc, of course. But we are touching, we are flirting. I get rid of all this noise from last week. We predicted this bounce to make or break, and now we had that long up to the R2. Now, guys, we're touching this bearish zone. So now we want to see what's going to happen. We've pretty much touched the 200 EMA. But I think we're going to see some downside here starting this week, possibly. British pound JPY, again, a short call out. We are going short right here. We never got this pullback we are looking for. And guys, the JPY just continues to just get slaughtered. So now I would wait to see. Let me get rid of this arrow. I'm not bearish till up here. But we are due for a decent. Up here, I would look for something back to R2. British pound NZD, we are hitting our support. Starting to see a little bit of support. What I would do is I'm going to look for a pullback, retest this area, and then see if we're going to get a continuation of this. I like that. So I don't think I'm bullish until down here. See it right there. Which is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing what price is doing. However, this is a pretty strong support area. Let's see where pre-COVID was. Right about here. So we've already busted through where we were pre-COVID. Sorry. British pound USD. Again, we busted through our bearish area. So, I mean, right here looks like a logical spot it may run to before we want to get selling. So I'm going to wait for it to come up there. If you're already long, that's a good take profit. NZD, man, NZD has just been crazy. We got the retest of this make or break zone, and now we're on that run. I'm going to say I'm not going to look bearish till we're up here. I'm going to move my make or break zone to R2. And then I like where I wouldn't be bullish unless we come down and retest these highs. And guys, pre-COVID levels right here, we're getting to the top side of that. So great area to look for price rejection there. NZD Swiss franc, same thing. I'm not going to look bearish now that we blew through that till up here. And guys, this is the pre-COVID range. Pre-COVID range. I'm not going to look bullish. Ooh. Let's move that to there. So I like that trade. If we get a push to the top side of that pre-COVID range, I'd look bearish down to that R2 or the 200 EMA. NZD JPY, same thing. I'm going to move this up here because all these JPY pairs are just dangerous. I like how that looks. We are hitting RSI already. I'd wait for some divergence to post before I got too crazy on a sell trade for up here. NZD, USD, same thing. This trend line's questionable because we had this little bit of a knockout. Very questionable. I like that. So we'll see if we bust up here. This would be where I look for at least a retest of that questionable trend line. Or we could retest this R2 level quite easily. USD Canadian dollar. Here's our bullish zone based on the resistance of basically pre-COVID. Okay? Pre-COVID, I'm not going to be long till I see what price does there. It very well could go down to the support of pre-COVID, which is down here. But we've blown past S2, and we may get test of this area, retest of that, and that would be a great place to take a sell trade if we do get all the way down to that support of pre-COVID. USD Swiss franc, kind of the same thing, guys. We're flirting with this area here. Would be a great bounce off this S2, but where is pre-COVID? Right here. So we might just stay in this range. If we bust this, man, we could go all the way down to this flash crash area down here. But let's just see what happens. We touched our make or break zone from last Wednesday's midweek review, and it's already coming back down. So if you caught that, you're in a good sell trade, but I would play in between make or break in this S2 for now. USD JPY. So this is the confusing pair of the week last week, right? Is the US dollar basically got super weak on every pair except for this pair. I think this thing's going to race up to this zone up here. And that's right where we were, where we were pre-COVID. Then we had this major dip. Then we tested this high again in COVID. So it's logical we're going to get back up to that level. And I don't think I'd be bullish unless we dip back down to this pivot level, or where I have this alert. I want to see what happens right at the 200 EMA if we retest it. All right, guys. Sorry for the camera issues, the kid issues, but we got it done. And you know, if you took a big loss last week, because many of us did, us reversion of mean traders really had a lot of good signals, but they just didn't work out last week. And then you know, me being so distracted, I failed to see that and let some trades go a little too far, and took a you know, big loss that now I get to turn into a comeback, and you all get to watch it happen. So jump on over to AlanFX.com. Don't forget to hit subscribe, follow here on YouTube. Now that I am in my new office and a lot of these distractions are going away, and I'm building a new computer, all these fun things that happen, I'm going to be ramping up the YouTube channel, doing a lot more content on there, a little bit different content. I might just twist the YouTube channel into how a trader can come back from a major loss and try to, you know, put myself more out there that way. All right, guys, have a great rest of the weekend, and let's have a great week this week, and let's go make some money together. And I love the hell out of you, each and every one of you, all of you guys, with all the support you guys are sending me. And if you got any questions or comments, throw them in the comments section below. I love hearing from you guys, good or bad. Just do it. It's free. And don't forget to hit subscribe, guys. It really helps the channel. It takes no time out of your day to just hit that little red button. All right. Have a great week.